Do you have sound now? Hi, Sue. Can you guys hear me now? Hey, Jamie. Yay! I clicked the wrong button. My fault. My bad. Hi, Patricia. Hey, B. Hey, that's Marion. Buppy. I think that's Marion. Okay. It's you. There we go. Let's go ahead and transition over to winner chicken dinner. Well, let's go to the project camera and I'll show you guys what you're going to win for winner chicken dinner today. Let's see. Okay, winner chicken dinner is going to get, of course, your $1 million bar. You're also going to be getting a metal stencil, and you can use this with the paste or with your inks. There are several ways of using these, and there are some instructions on the back as well. And you're going to get the Stamps of Life by Stephanie Bernard. You're going to be getting a pack of those. This one I don't remember. I remember picking that up, but I don't remember what it was called. Oh, this is the postmarks. These are really cute to put on envelopes or in your planners. Really cute set. So winner chicken dinner is going to get those. All right, let's go over to the design space and get those questions. Oh, this is where I cut tonight's project. If you move around and use a double-sided paper like I did, guys, you can get all of your decorative elements for this card out of one sheet. Okay? Well, I say two because that one needs to be a darker color. So, but you could probably get by with flipping it as well. You just can't get it out of one sheet, so you may as well go darker with it. So just for tonight's project, I wanted to show you guys that you could get that out of one sheet. Let me cancel that. I've already cut mine. And you can change this up for any theme you need to change. We're basically going to be focusing, we're going to put the whole thing together, but the main focus is the base itself. Yes, so it is a very versatile stamp. It can be used for tons of stuff on the fronts of cards, inside cards, your envelopes, in a planner, just lots and lots of stuff. And Stephanie Bernard stamps are really nice, the Stamps of Life. Winner chicken dinner. As usual, I'm going to ask the question. Once I ask the question, I'm going to give a 3, 2, 1, go countdown. And once I say go, the first correct answer wins. Anybody that answers prior to my go is disqualified. So let's go ahead and ask the question. What was the upgrade to the Design Space writing feature that we got this week? A, the writing feature itself is new. B, you can now write on a project after printing. C, you can now flatten the writing before printing. Or D, none of the above. This is a trick question. 3, 2, 1, go. Anybody know? Anybody got a guess? Way to go, B. C is the answer. You can now flatten writing before having it print. Previously, we could not get the flatten feature if we had writing attached to our project. We had to print it, then put it back on the paper, and then it would write it. So if we flattened anything we had set to writing, then it wouldn't give us the flatten feature. But now we have that. And just to give you guys who may not know or were wondering what that is, you can change just about any image in Design Space to writing. We've always been able to do that. And then you could have it draw this, and then you could color it or whatever you wanted to do. You could do that. But if you wanted to take this, let me just undo everything. If you wanted to select it, oh well, if I can get it to line up, there we go. If I wanted to flatten it before, if you look down here in the bottom right, I had the flatten feature. All I had to do was flatten it. But if I wanted writing on it, I had to come in. Did it unflatten? No, it did not. Undo. I want to get us back to where we were. If I were wanting to put, say, spring across the front of this, let's just say it's regular cut, I would have to bring it in and put it on the top and then select it all and then flatten. But if I had at any point changed this word spring to right, and of course you can't see it on that, then the flatten option would disappear. It's not going to now, but previously it would. But if I wanted to do it now, all I have to do is select it and flatten it, and now it's going to print that writing feature. So all the fonts that we had a writing feature for, now we can flatten it to our image. And this is just something I threw together. I wouldn't, of course, do this because that's hard to read. But if you had a card where you wanted a background, maybe this was the background to your card and you wanted to write over the top of it, previously before you couldn't flatten that and you had to get it to write. And if you picked a pen that was too bold and not fine enough, then it would look all jumbled up and everybody was having a problem with that. But they have fixed that issue for us. Does everybody understand now that you can flatten the writing? Anybody got any questions about it? Hi, Zodia. No, the Zodiac Girl, I guess. I don't know your first name. I don't know who that one is. Well, welcome. B, if you are a Patreon, let me know and I will get, just message me your address and I will get that in the mail to you for your winter chicken dinner. If you're not a Patreon supporter, if you are a Patreon supporter, I probably already have it. But just message me just in case. That'll give me a reminder too. Does anybody have any Design Space questions? Hey, Cherie. Okay, B, that's perfect. Just message me later and give me that address and I will get that out to you. As always, if you guys have any Design Space questions or project questions, anything like that while we're putting together our project, you just let me know and we'll answer those and go over it. I don't want anybody leaving not having their question answered. And it doesn't matter from t-shirts to vinyl to iron-on, you name it. Whatever you have a problem with, let me know. And let's go ahead and switch over to the project camera and we'll start putting that together. Myself and Bonnie worked on this. Oh, I wanted to say also, I don't know if Kathy's here yet, but Kathy, thank you so much for the card. Very pretty. She used some of the things that she won on Winter Chicken Dinner to make me a card. Thank you so much. Okay. Bonnie and I worked on this card, and I'm just going to kind of show you guys the easiest way to put this card together. I done dropped all my pieces here. There it is. This is an accordion pivot card, and it looks kind of simple, but the mechanism was really a bear to put together. and to get it right. Here is the mock-up that, well, this is like cut number 10, and it still had to have changes made to it. This card is, like I said, an accordion pivot where the little cards on the inside pivot to it. This is off of, this is a spinoff of the Karen Bernstein dies, where she cuts those cards. And the easiest way that I found to put it together, and you don't want a second panel on the back because then it gets heavy. This is kind of flimsy. This is 80-pound Cricut cardstock, and for the weight of everything else, this is too flimsy. You need either a poster board, Stampin' Up's 110-pound, I think it is, or Gina K for your pivot, in my opinion, or the Cricut poster board. I think the poster board will be sufficient. I cut, this one is not the poster board because I didn't have it, but I think it will work fine. I mean, I had it, but not in white, and that's what I wanted, was white for this card. So, that being said, if you're using the same butterflies and everything that I have in the file, the first thing you want to do is layer up your cardstock on that. So you'll want to glue your butterflies to this, your back panel, which is your dark color, on the file. I'm losing my pieces here. I had them all set up so I wouldn't do that, and I did it anyway. I said, don't pick those up. And I'm using art glitter glue. You will want to glue these pieces. I do not recommend using any score tape, tape runners, anything of that nature. This card is going to get some wear and tear and some play from people playing with it. You don't want to put that together with tape and have it come apart in their hands. So I'm going to suggest that I'm using art glitter glue. I sell it in my store. If you don't want to use art glitter glue, then wet glue of choice. But please don't use tapes. And it's okay to offset these a little bit if you want to and have more of the dark color peeping through. I used, this is out of one of the designer papers from Cricut. It was an Anna Griffin one, the one that we used last week, the Toile. That came out of the Toile pack. And these others that I'm using are the Anna Griffin paper. It's the Pastel Meadow. So it has all those pinks, the flowers, and the purples, and the blues. Really pretty paper. But that is the Pastel Meadow that these papers came out of, except this dark piece. There it is. I keep losing my butterfly halves. And I did that on these files. You can find the other half of the rest of these butterflies. Just type in butterflies. It's a Design Space butterfly. If you want to use a different layer than what I'm using, I just did it this way for the pops of color behind it. This also gives these a chance to dry. And I have a score line right down the middle of this back piece. Don't score it yet, because you may not, it depends on which way you want your card to go together as to which way you're going to fold that. So that's going to be one of our layers. I'm going to set that to the side. And then my congratulations piece, I'm going to put a couple on the front of it, just to kind of dress it up just a little bit. And if it hangs off the edge slightly, that's okay. I'm going to be dressing mine up later as well with some Nuvo drops, but I am not going to do that while we're on camera because they take 30 minutes or so to dry. Some of these butterflies are teeny tiny too. You can expand that card. You can unlock it and take it up to a 5x7 if you want. But I did this one as, I think it's 4.5 by 4.25, something like that. And then these are just 2 plain panels. And then this is the signature part of the card, and I did cut a little butterfly for the back of that. I'm using this as a graduation card, so that's why the sentiment and the butterflies. Yeah, I love the art glitter too. That's my go-to. I don't even use. I've got a drawer full of stuff that I've tried, and I don't touch it anymore. I really need to give it away or to somebody that's in need of glue or toss it out one. Okay, guys, now you have these panels. You have 4 of these. Well, one of these has no tab on this side, and it has no tab on this side. This is your end piece. You can make this card as long or as short as you want. Some people do 3, some do 4, depends on what you want, what look you want to do. You can just shorten it by eliminating one of these out of the file. Okay, so just take that out. I apologize, my cord fell here. Let me tack that out of the way. Try to. There we go. So you're going to have, in this particular file, 3 of these, and they will all go with the tab to the right. Okay? And you're going to, before you do anything with them, you're going to kind of pivot one side up and pinch till it flattens. Okay? Then you're going to flip it the other way and do the same thing and pinch. If you try to fold that all the way over without pinching it, it's going to rip. Okay? I tried it many different ways, and it's just going to rip. But do that on each piece before you do anything else. It's too difficult to try and do it later. And I had a problem with this one here because my blade didn't want to cut the paper for some reason. It got stuck right there. I think I had a piece of trash on my mat. But you're just going to fold those over and pinch each one. And you're not wanting to bend your frame. And that's just to get some play on these. So it gives a little bit of play. Oh, thank you, Bonnie. And then once you've done that, you're going to fold that side tab. And then you're going to fold it back the other way. So it doesn't matter which way you do it first. You're going to fold it both ways on all 3 of these pieces. I'm not sure if I said it before. This is a spin-off of the Karen Bernstein dies. I think from Sizzix. Oops. Don't catch your card. You don't want to tear it. For sure. I am making this one for my niece who is graduating on the 25th. Which is the same day that I graduated years and years and years and years ago. 40 years to the day, to be exact. The Nuvo drops. These are lilacs. This one dries translucent. This is the Jewel Drops Pale Periwinkle. And this is the Crystal Drops Sweet Lilac. And I can show you what they look like dry. This is the translucent pale periwinkle right here. I don't know if you can get a really good look at that, but they dry clear. It just gives it a little bit of color. I hope I'm on camera. That's the pale periwinkle, and then this is the sweet lilac. Matches that cardstock from Anna Griffin perfectly. And you can get those. I think I have a link to, I think Blitzy. I don't know if it'll let me send it, but I'll try. It's not going to let me. That is the link, but you can get your Nuvo drops there. Once you've done that, guys, before you glue these together, or you can glue these together and then do this, but I'm going to suggest that you put your decorative pieces on now, just to make it a lot easier on yourself. Because I didn't do that with that other card, and it wasn't easy. And this is why I said if you wanted to offset these butterflies a little bit where they hung off the edge, it wouldn't hurt anything. And that's why you've got room to play. And then on the back side, it just gets one panel. I wouldn't go any more than that. And I just did that to make the back look pretty. You don't have to have this panel either if you don't want it. I have glue all over my hands where I dropped that. Yeah, I got mine at Blitzy too. I have to agree with you, Jamie. I searched everywhere. I got 1 or 2 colors off of Amazon, and simply because they were out of it at Blitzy and I didn't want to wait on it to come in stock. And I paid more for those that were to get those colors. And usually they don't have it on Amazon unless it's a new color or a discontinued color, and you're going to pay more for it anyway there. So if you can get them at Blitzy, that's the best place to get them. The second one just gets a blank, just to make it pretty. We're just dressing that one up. Done that one, and this is the back of this one. Ooh, dripping glue now. I've had the droppies all day today. This is such pretty paper. I really hate to put the panels over the top of it. If you use a light one like this and you're going to be writing on it, you could probably get by with just a single panel. It'd be pretty too. So nobody has any Design Space questions this week? Everybody good there? Any project questions? And then I am flipping these two over. This is my first panel and my last panel. And just because I have some extra butterflies, I don't know. I thought I might use those on there, but these are so pretty, I don't think I'm going to. So if you guys want to skip that, depending on the paper, go for it. I kind of like it is. Okay. Next, you want to glue panel 2 to panel 1, right there at that score, lining it up. And I could have probably skipped the panel on these center two as well. Would have probably been prettier. It's all going to depend on the paper that you use. And how much you want your image to pop. You could do this with flowers, butterflies, dragonflies, birds, owls, you name it. Monsters. A caterpillar. How cute would a caterpillar be going through there? And then, of course, your last panel you're going to glue onto the last. And that, like I said, you can do as many of these as you want. It's an accordion fold, so you can keep adding. If you want to do photos in here and do photos on the front and back, you can do that. I do, Cherie, but I can show you really quick too while this is drying, because I don't want this to pop apart while we're playing around with it. So that'll give me a minute to get that dry. Let's go over to Design Space and answer that for Cherie. Okay, Cherie, let's see. I'm not going to save this, so let's just put in an image. I am going to search for, let's just do a butterfly since that's what we're working with. Okay, let's do this one. This one looks good. This looks like a good specimen. I'm going to insert that image. All right, and you notice over here when I look at my layers panel, I have 3 different butterflies. And the slice option is available because one is hidden. But if I unhide that one, guess what? It disappears. And the reason it disappeared is because now I have 1, 2, 3 layers. This is top layer, second layer, bottom layer. Okay? And you can only slice 2 layers at a time. Now you can hide that, select these 2, and slice is available. And you can slice that apart. But if you have more layers than that, you have no slice option. You can weld and make it all one color, but you can't. So if I wanted to take this pink layer, I can just hide that center layer, and then I can slice this and have this option. Can do that, but you cannot put 3 layers together and slice them. The only way that you could do that, I've shown this before. Let me get a square and a couple of circles. If I wanted to make, let's see, this shape here, like an owl's face out of this, and I select all of that I don't have a slice option. It's not there. I can select two of them and it is there, but then I chance this being off when I go to do it. But if I select both of my circles and I align them to the top and I weld those two pieces, now I have this piece. It is one image now. If you look in your layers panel, it is now one image. This is my second image. If I align those all center, then I can slice and I can get that option that I wanted. So just so you know, if you want to slice simultaneously at the same time so that you make sure everything stays lined up, weld those two images after you have them placed and then slice them out of your other image. Because I do that frequently, especially if I'm like this card where I was trying to line things up. I welded my stuff together and sliced it out at the same time. That way I didn't have to worry about anything moving. Yeah, and also, Cherie, if you have anything attached to an image, like a card, let's say we have a card base. We're just going to pretend this is a card base, guys. And I am going to put my score line right down the center and attach it. But now I forgot I wanted to slice out on this side, so when I folded I had a fancy fold. No slice option. But if I come over here and select my square and detach that score line and just select the two pieces, now I can slice it. Oops, moved the wrong one. Move it to the back, get rid of that piece, and now I can reattach my score line. So, hi Wanda, I'm glad you made it. Yeah, if I wanted to weld that on, but maybe slice this out again right here, I would need to move this piece and then weld these two together. And then I could slice that out at the same time after I get rid of that score line on there. With a score line on there, I can't do anything. And for some reason, maybe they fix it. No, like on the other layers where we hit a layer and sliced, you can't do that with something attached. It won't allow you. That's still a no-go. You still have to detach. But then I can slice those two images at the same time out of there. You always check your layers panel. Always check it because you never know. All right, and let's go back over to the project camera. Now we have this card ready to go. Your first fold is going to be a mountain fold. Unless you want this to be the front of your card, then it's going to be a valley. So start it in the manner you want it to go. All right? So it depends on how you want your card folded and how you want everything to go as to how you start your card. This one, because we've got 4 panels, I'm starting mountain, then a valley, and then a mountain. Okay? And your card will look like this. If you've got it standing up, it's going to look like a W. Okay? This little tab here, you're going to fold up and fold it back. Fold it both ways on all 3 of your cards. Or however many cards you've got. This first one, your mountain is going to come to the top, so you're going to put glue on this tab here. You're going to bring this up, and this is the way that I found it easiest, guys. I hope you can see this on camera. Don't bend your card here, but just kind of go up under and make sure that these are lined up and hold those together, gluing them together right here. And you're going to want to hold that until it's dry. Because there is a little stress on it, but there's not going to be much. Okay. And we're just going to give that a little fold to get it going. This next tab, and this is important, goes in front of this, okay? But it's still easier to put it on the table and fold it. And that way you can line everything up. So basically I'm just making sure it stays in front. And I'm just so that I can press it on the table without bending my base. And then this one is going to go to the back again. We're just going to glue those tabs right there. Just like that. I'm just using the table to my advantage on this so that I don't bend the base. And it allows me to make sure that I have my 2 sections even. Okay, and I bent mine anyway. There we go. And then you can just accordion fold it up and give it a good press. And I pulled one of them apart. The tabs, you cannot get them very long on here. I did notice that because of the way that they're hinged in. So my remedy for this is to cut either a small butterfly like this and place it right here for an extra decorative hinge, because this is the problem I was getting. I'm not holding it long enough to adhere, probably, before I start bending it. Let's just hold it for a second. You want to make sure they're good and dry before you start moving them. But you can reinforce it. This one I didn't have to. I let it dry and I didn't have to do that. Actually, I did it and then I put that decorative panel over it. So if you want to put a decorative panel over it, you can. That was the only thing. I put these on before. These I did after. These I did before. So I'm going to say if you did it this way, put a little decorative something back there on each one of those hinges. I'm going to cut another butterfly or use one of these butterflies to do that. Like so. I think I might flip him over just to reinforce that hinge. Because like I said, you don't want it to pop apart on you. I just put a fold in that. That's all I'm doing. If you put your decorative panels on after you glue those, then you're probably good. I didn't think about that when I was doing them. I did it on the first one. That's cute. Gives it a little dimension back there. And then I'll cut another one for this. I may just use these and tack them on like they are. Since it's the same color cardstock, it'll kind of blend in. Get it a good bend on there. Yeah, they're good. If you don't put your panel on, it's going to keep popping loose. It gets a little bit of stress on it from the folding, the spun fold. So that's the issue there. So do as I say, not as I do. Make sure you put your back panels on after. This should hold that. Nobody will ever know but us. Your string is messing up. Try refreshing. I will do the same. Give me just 1 second. Let's see. What is YouTube telling me? Let me refresh on my side and see if that helps, guys. If I disappear, I will be back. Okay. No, Bonnie, I did not do an envelope for this because I didn't know if anybody was going to want to resize it. But you should be able to resize any A2 envelope. This is a 4.5 by, say, 4.5, and it should be fine. And once you have those in, guys, it's basically finished except this last piece. And I am just going to dab half of this butterfly, only half, and half of this end one. And I am not bending my middle one as of yet. And I'm just going to kind of slip it in here. And get it straight on one side, making sure it's not in a fold. And then on the other. Bringing the center butterflies up into a mountain. But I didn't, even though it's scored, I didn't actually fold him. I'm just going to let the card take care of it. And I'm just going to smush it down and bring it. He's sticking out on the outside here, but we're going to fix that. After these two have dried, you just want to kind of push him into the center. And then fold it flat. And you'll see the wings sticking out here. That won't hurt anything. But that gives you all the folds where you need them to be. So that when the card opens up, then it pops out. Like so. Okay? So even though it's scored, I didn't fold him. I just left him to the outside and I squished it flat like it was supposed to be, giving me a crease on those two inner butterflies. Then I pushed the center in and gave it another fold. And that's all there is to making that card, guys. Hi, Cindy. I'm just going to turn it up so you guys can see it on the camera there. Does anybody have any other Design Space questions or questions about the card? I did not do an envelope, but again, just find a square envelope. There are plenty of free square envelopes in Design Space, and just make sure that that end panel, the one that's on the end, if that end panel fits inside the square lines of that envelope, it will fit. You just need it to be this part to fit into the square lines of the envelope. Thanks, Jamie. I appreciate that. Thank you all. I hope you enjoyed it. If nobody else has any questions, the next project I am going to try to do next Monday is going to be the cigar box. Okay? Everybody knows that we did the, let me see if I can pull it up here. Let me see. There we go. If it's going to let me open it. There we are. Let's see if you guys can see this on the Design Space screen. This is the box that we did this week. This was released to our Patreon supporters first. So they have the files, they have the videos. Some of them are having their chance to go ahead and start working on this. I will be releasing it publicly on Friday for those who are not Patreon supporters. I am doing a box that is a cigar box, and I'm also doing a box that is going to be a Patreon only file. But you guys are going to need chipboard, and I am using the Cricut chipboard for these. If you have an Explore machine, you will be able to do these boxes, but I am using the Cricut heavy chipboard. You may have to make some adjustments to the file if you're using something thinner and using your Explore machine, but you're still going to be able to make these boxes. You can make the one that was just up on there using your Explore. Oh, great, Dee. Yeah, and I am not too sure, guys, that I'm not going to be using some of the Cricut faux leather. I might be using some of that as well, just as decorative pieces on these boxes. So you may want to have a piece of that on hand. It's not necessary because I will fix a way for you guys to use something else if you don't have it on hand. I usually on things like that try to give you options. So make sure that you have chipboard on hand, because next week's project, instead of a card, because we've done a couple of paper projects and stuff like that. Iron-on projects we have done, but those are pretty quick and easy to do. And hopefully the cigar box that we're doing can be done in an hour and 15 minutes. Because I'm going to try to get you guys the file so that you can have everything cut and ready to go. That's the only way that we can do those live. They have to be cut and ready to go. Also, make sure you guys have some 12 by 24 paper on hand. The basic colors or colors of paper that you like, where you can coordinate your other papers to it, like I did in that other box. I used the cream color 12 by 24 to go with those papers. So make sure that you're getting a paper that you want to make your cigar box out of and that you're getting a coordinating 12 by 24. I don't know that we're going to have 12 by 24. I know that for that box that I just showed you guys, you do have to have it because some of the pieces require a larger piece of cardstock. Okay, if everybody's good and nobody has any more questions, I guess that's it for tonight. I'm glad that you guys joined me and we got to make a card just so you guys can see how it looks. And the butterfly does pop out. And if you do 3 of these guys, they kind of pivot just a little bit more than they are here, but they still pivot. So you guys have a wonderful night, and thanks for joining me. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you're not subscribed. And if you're not in the Facebook groups, come on over and join us. Y'all have a wonderful night. Bye-bye.